that Morning, everyone. Thank you for being a part of our annual meeting. I'm Ryan Garretts. I'm the chair of the board of directors of United Way. We have a packed agenda for you today, so I will get right to it. As you can imagine, this year was an unpredictable year for the United Way and for our community. However, it's been a year where we've achieved a lot of great things. Today, you'll hear from our staff members about our accomplishments in this challenging environment. One thing's for sure, this year was a busy year. From virtual events to in-person volunteering, United Way of Central Minnesota has continued to engage our community and make lasting change. Ideally, I'd have much more than 30 minutes to properly celebrate all of our accomplishments. But in an effort to pack as much in as possible, please take the time to watch this short video highlighting the things we've done over the last year. That was great. It's great to see all those familiar faces come out and raise their hands on behalf of the United Way for our community. I certainly want to get a cool bus after seeing that video. As board chair, it's my honor to thank all those special people that have had the chance to work with. I've had a chance to work with very closely this year. The United Way Board of Directors. These volunteers lead United Way with a commitment to serve the community by considering the most pressing issues to focus on and by being good stewards of the donations you have all contributed. Our accomplishments were made possible as a result of their decision and commitment to Central Minnesota. First, I'd like to give a big thanks to those board members who are transitioning out of their role. Those members have served on the board over the past few years, and we've accomplished great things with their leadership and service. So I'd like to highlight it and recognize those people who have transitioned off the board. Huda Ibrahim, Kathy Julius, Tammy Kuzman, and Melinda Gao. Thank you very much for your service and for your contribution to the United Way over the last number of years. We could not have done it without you. To help us continue this work into the coming year, 3 new board members have joined the board as of July 1st, 2021. They are Joy Plowman, Bob Mahold, and Scott Palmer. Thank you guys very much for agreeing to be part of this organization that we think you as you begin your board service. Please help me thank this year's United Way Board of Directors. All right, I'll turn it over to Jasper Asplund, our treasurer, for a brief discussion of our financial progress over the last year.
Great, thank you, Ryan. So once again, my name is Jasper Asplund, and I'm currently the board treasurer here at United Way of Central Minnesota. And I have the esteemed pleasure to share a financial picture of kind of our results this past fiscal year 2021 and compare those to our previous audited results fiscal year 2020. Because really, I'm an accountant, and at the end of the day, the finances, they really are telling us a story of where we've been and kind of where we are headed. As you can see here with our annual pledges, we have seen the downward trend in our workplace giving, but we are still striving for greatness and working as hard as we can to keep those businesses engaged, their employees, and continue those workplace campaigns. But with that decrease, we knew we had a decision to make. Do we keep with the downward trend, or do we explore even more opportunities? And with that, I am pleased that we have increased our grants revenue by more than 32% over this past fiscal year. And that the grant revenue has really been a great way to bring grantors not only from inside our Central Minnesota community, but also outside of our community, and invest those into our community and explore these new opportunities. Just through the 21st century community learning centers, we've really been able to expand on our education initiatives, and as well as through our other pillars with health and financial stability, to continue to bring that diversification of dollars into our community. As you can also see here with our net investment return, we've been able to increase our reserves just by having our investments sit at the bank. And that has really been a healthy initiative for us. And it's allowed us, as an example, when COVID first hit, we've been able to dip into other areas by the board through the board approval to continue to impact the greatest needs in our community. We also were able to take advantage of the PPP loan and get that 100% forgiven, as I'm sure a lot of you, if you're local or other Central Minnesota not-for-profit organizations, and really do what the ultimate goal was, and that's to keep our Central Minnesota staff employed, keep them busy, keep them engaged, and keep them in our community. And with our expenses, even though we have had some changes in our staffing, that really has enabled us to explore those grant opportunities, to use some of our grant expenditures for some of our salaries, and continue to find ways to really mobilize the carrying power of Central Minnesota. So I also, with Ryan, and I'm sure we'll get many other thank yous, but I also want to thank you to our donors, our sponsors, to our business partners, just for this successful year, and for wish you the best of luck in this year to come. But with that, I'll pass it over to Larry to share some more highlights.
That's probably intentional. And thank you. Good. Thank you, Jasper. I typically don't use notes when I talk. I usually just talk from my heart with ideas I have when I share. But as Ryan mentioned, this has been a very special year. It makes me so proud to be part of Central Minnesota. So I'm going to use notes just so I don't forget to thank anybody. You know, we would not be able to accomplish our work in Central Minnesota without our volunteers. It's you, community, who steps up each day and raises your hand and helps us make a difference in Central Minnesota. I want to thank the volunteers that serve on our board. I want to thank the volunteers that serve on our committees, including investment teams, our workplace giving teams, the race operation committees, and the list goes on and on. Without you, we could not have the impact that we have in Central Minnesota. I also want to thank people who help coordinate our volunteer activities. We do a number of events to create awareness of what we're doing in the community and to bring folks together to celebrate what's happening in our community. So we have projects including Day of Caring, Llama Llama Read-A-Rama, Day of Action, Imagination Library, Progressive Dinners, and many more. And once again, without volunteers, those events would not happen. Please help me, please join me in giving those folks a hand of applause as well. I know I've misrecognized some folks, but I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge United Way staff. As we mentioned, it's been a challenging year, and every day they have stepped up and met the challenge with creative solutions to our community's most pressing problems. And they'll continue to do so because they are passionate about making Central Minnesota a great place for us all to live, giving everybody the opportunity to be successful. Please join me in recognizing and thanking the staff. Now, we've been working extremely hard to create results in each of our focus areas: education, financial stability, and health. Our community impact teams have been developed new exciting projects and have energized to carry them out the next year. I want to turn it over to Alexis to look into our Director of Financial Stability to hear more about our financial stability work. Alexis.
We're jumping in front of everyone. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. As Larry said, I'm Alexis Lunkin here at United Way, Director of Financial Stability. When we talk financial stability, it is so overwhelming because there is so much that plays part in financial stability. And so when we're looking at it, we're looking at the things that can make the greatest impact in the best, most use of their time and our time and dollars and resources. So the things that we're really focusing on are financial stability with the childcare part of it. Everyone can probably have a story that they already know about someone needing access to childcare, whether it be the cost of it, the access to it, the training for the providers, just building that capacity, increasing those numbers and increasing those that are going into that workforce, working to see what we can do to help families get past that economic and financial barrier to get back into the workforce, stay in the workforce and maintain that stability. Also looking at housing. If you are worried about where you're going to be sleeping at night, it's hard to make those other decisions and make the rest of your life stable. So looking at how we can help with housing, how we can help with rent payments, how we can help with training, looking at job and employment training, seeing how we can get more people back into the workforce and successful and on the road to financial stability themselves. I think that's past my 90 seconds, Sam. So I will pass it back over to education, which is going to be Amy or Daniel. The education team will take the next step of the meeting. Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much, Alexis. This is Daniel Larson, Executive Director of Partner for Student Success, our education initiative. And I think everyone in our community got to see the impact on jobs and home life when schools are closed. And this was an unprecedented time for all of us. We had to be nimble and flexible and responsive. And I'm so proud of the distance learning support sites we created across our community to serve the students who were most affected, who didn't have regular internet access, didn't have the technology, and needed people supporting them to catch up on their homework, on their class schedules, and to have some social emotional support. So we supported innovative partnerships in open commercial spaces, in rented out apartments in high density neighborhoods, and innovative partnerships with the Boys and Girls Clubs and the schools themselves. I'm also taking this opportunity to say thank you for 6 great years at United Way. And I want to welcome the new executive director, Amy Trombley, of Partner for Student Success, starting next month.
Thank you, Daniel. Fortunately, we know your phone number and we'll be recruiting you to continue to stay part of our education network because of the work that you've helped lead, innovate, and vision for us. One of those big pieces has been, as Jasper noted, our 21st Century Community Learning Centers. And that all evolved from some of the great work that was started from quality out of school time, United Way Neighborhood Resource Centers, the unification of Partner for Student Success and United Way of Central Minnesota to develop those 21st Century Learning Centers. And over the past year, it's been an amazing piece of work to do this all during a pandemic. But really what that looks like is kids at the Boys and Girls Clubs, kids at schools, kids at Promise Neighborhood and across the community have access to a theater in a week experience through Great Theater at no cost, so they can access that. Or they have social emotional supports from Anna Marie's Alliance, going to the clubs so the kids have access to that opportunity. Hands-on career exploration experiences through Boy Scouts and culturally led youth programming through Too Much Talent, focused on the unique and diverse needs of our population. And that is just a snippet. We didn't get to touch on so many other great things that are happening through this grant and through the amazing team and community that is making it happen, because it's all being done with best practice and intentionality with our education partners and being data informed to support this infrastructure that's been created and supported by our amazing team and community to have impact, efficiency, capacity building, and staff development happening, all with our kids at the center of that. So Daniel, we know you can't leave that, but I am definitely humbled and excited to move that forward.
Thank you, Amy, and thank you everyone for your generous support in allowing United Way to be this creative and responsive this year.
On to health.
Our health initiative is new for us, and it is truly a response to what the community told us is one of the most pressing issues to deal with, in particular mental health. If you can all imagine the stresses that occurred because of children being home from school, not having the opportunity to interact, parents being home, trying to both be an employee and a teacher, seniors being isolated, not being able to see their loved ones and not being able to go out in the community and interact. So we have created a focus area around health, in particular mental health. And to that end, we identified 3 areas that we're going to be focusing on. The first is children's mental health. It's important that we help the children deal with the issues that they've been facing in the last 18 months and get them in a good place to be able to continue to be successful in their school years and beyond. Caregivers have taken on additional challenges, need support, need to make sure that support is in place, both to be effective caregivers, but also to have the support be continue in that role. And finally, as I mentioned, senior isolation. You cannot ignore the challenges that seniors faced, not being able to see their loved ones, not being able to go out in the community, and to have to just be basically isolated. We want to make sure that the mental health needs get the right service, the right time, in the right place. And to that end, we will be announcing our first round of funding later this week or early next week. We're excited to be partnering with many in the community, including Central Care, Central Minnesota Mental Health, and others to address the needs. So I will turn it back over to Jessica, who can talk about our workplace giving and fundraising.
All right, thank you, Larry. Good morning, everybody. It's so great to be able to be with you this morning, even though this is virtual. I'm glad that we have the opportunity to spend a little bit of time together. So I'm Jessica with United Way of Central Minnesota, Vice President of Resource Development and Community Engagement. And I'm actually super excited that you were able to hear from our community impact team this morning to really hear about the work that's happening here at United Way of Central Minnesota. My job really is about two big things: raising the dollars and educating the community about the programs that are being offered through Central Minnesota United Way. And I couldn't do this alone in any sense of the word. I do have a team of committee volunteers who have helped me over the last year. Last year at this meeting, we talked a lot about how we were going to have different conversations in the community. And you can see on your screen, there's a list here of my workforce committee volunteers. Past Chair Kathy Julius, Chair Heather Bob Mahold, Tara Grunhub, Mike Schlew, Kimberly Matt Kunkel, and Ryan Rothbell. Those individuals have really helped us. Like I said, we have had about 25 really quality conversations with CEOs. If you've ever been a part of our CEO calls in the past, you'll recall that our conversations were mostly about campaign, right? We came in, we talked about what does campaign look like for you? We reiterated, what we could come in and help and do and all of that. And that's great. And those conversations need to happen. But we also recognize that we had an opportunity to change that conversation a little bit. We wanted to go in and make sure, especially in the last year, that our community partners, our business partners, the corporate world around us also knew that United Way was here as a resource in the community as well. We had conversations, like I said, with over 25 different CEOs, but almost every conversation was exactly the same. Those conversations were all about mental health challenges that their employees were having. They were about the childcare challenges that were facing the workforce, which ultimately led to the hiring challenges that everybody is seeing right now. So like many of the things that my colleagues just talked about, that's how we're responding. We're hearing from the community what is going on, and we're trying to do everything. We have had we've had 4 very successful community forums in the past year, and actually tomorrow morning will be our 5th one. So I'm inviting you to please attend that if you're not already, if that's not already on your calendar, please put that on your calendar for tomorrow morning from 8 to 9 a.m. It's a virtual opportunity. We will be talking about the hiring challenges of 2021. We just finished up our run through right before this meeting started, and I can tell you that it's going to be an extremely well-rounded that you might be busy, you might already have other things planned, but please, if you can send someone from your company, it will be worth the time. Okay, so shifting gears just a little bit. Also just kind of wanting to talk about the last year, right? As campaign, the other part of the work we do, all the resources and stuff that we bring in through the community. We didn't know what to expect. Like many of you, what was gonna happen in the last year. So a year ago, we had this exact same meeting and I said, I think we did everything we can. We planned, we did the things. And but really, we just kind of like you, just kind of were holding your breath. Like you don't really know what to expect going into a pandemic. None of us knew what was going to happen. But what I can do and what we did do was we planned for every scenario that we could think of so that we could better support our community partners, our businesses that are supporting us financially, the employees of those companies who are also supporting us. We tried to do everything we could by creating online storytelling kits, pre-drafted emails, almost anything that you could think of. We said, we're not going to take any excuses. We need people to continue to support United Way now more than ever. And we've done as much of the work for you as possible. Here you go. Let's do this together and let's be successful for our community because our community partners need us. Okay, Couple things, we ran rollover campaigns. We've said, how can people collect money from home? We've implemented a program called Harness. And it allowed people to run those special events that are so important to their culture, but at the same time said, let's collect money while people are at home. So we have resources like that. All of that taught us so much. We were able to then take that and say, how do we now prepare for this campaign season? We actually brought in 3 new staff as a part of just really deciding how should our team look this year. So I'm really excited that we have Sherry Lochner, Reba Van Viet, and Claire Black on staff this year to help us be more successful than we've ever been. So thank you so much for your time today. I hope to see you tomorrow morning at our community forum. And now we are going to watch a short little video that we were able to film like we've done in the past, our thank you video. Couple differences this year. We just had 1 person in our video this year because of COVID and everything going on, but it was still really important that we were able to go out and say thank you to those donors who were able to help us be successful this year. So please enjoy.
My name is Keisha Ashbraham. The introduction with United Way came through AmeriCorps. And AmeriCorps is a volunteer services, but it's for our community base. And United Way had an opening for Partners for Student Success. If it had not been for United Way selecting me, I don't know if I would be as successful with my son right now. So today, we're gonna get on a bus. We're gonna ride this bus and go throughout St. Cloud area, just telling our partners and our organizations, thank you. How much we appreciate your business and your good efforts and your continuous work.
What is going on?
Okay.
So my name is Keisha Anderson King. Thank you so much for letting us come into your space today.
Yeah.
But the reason why I am coming by, I would like to give you a token of our appreciation and just to say thank you. Thank you for your contributions and your donations to United Way. So are you okay if I hug you? You have on a mask and everything, so thank you so much. Keep up the good work. You are most welcome. Because of your wonderful contributions to United Way, you have allowed Partners for Student Success be amazing all across St. Cloud. Because of your donations and your contributions to United Way, you have allowed Partners As a parent, I am standing here today and tell you that that program has took my 6-year-old from being a non. So I really do appreciate all your efforts, all your hard work, and your contributions.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So we just wanted to say thank you to the both of you.
I was not a reader when I was a kid too.
Okay.
So it's really fun to be able to help instill that in the next generation.
Yeah, so thank you and keep up the good work. So thank you so much for that, for just giving us an opportunity. These kids have been able to grow to help them with extra blind books.
Done a lot of good work, and it's the best way we have of spreading, and satisfying the needs in the community.
It brings it all home, and so you understand sort of the connection that's being made directly in the community.
We know it's appreciated. We do when we give, but to hear it firsthand and to see you, it's doing well and on a good path.
I love hearing the real stories.
Yes. So you can be able to actually feel what I feel, and that is appreciation.
But to hear something that actually what it's going for and the benefit of it, I think that's fantastic. Yeah, it's great to hear that. So, and it's huge. I mean, kids need to have as much help as they can get.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
any programs are great.
Well, I think for me, to be able to continue to meet people in our community and to really allows us to be able to share more stories with people in our community.
Well, I guess it always means the most when you hear directly from those that are being benefited, how it's impacted their lives, and if we can have a positive.
It actually is lovely to be thanked for the work that we do in the community. We really believe in giving to the community, and so it's absolutely lovely to get thanked for that.
Thank you for keeping our community united.
Wow, that video was a perfect way to illustrate how raising your hand and giving to your community can make a huge impact on others. Thank you guys for putting that together and for all the hard work you do on that. Today, you heard about our accomplishments in Central Minnesota last year. It's been a great year, but this year our goals are even bigger. And we cannot achieve those goals on our own. It takes all of our nonprofit partners, corporate partners, volunteers, donors, and the entire Central Minnesota community to raise your hand and get involved. We need you to consider donating your time and giving just a little bit more. Most importantly, advocating for us, because change does not happen alone. To live better, we must live united. Thank you for joining us today at our annual meeting. We appreciate all you've done on behalf of the United Way and on behalf of the community. Thank you very much.